Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, February 17th. We are looking at the SPY ETFs market profile here on Window Trader. And I'll tell you what, if there's ever a time for sellers to show up and take some sort of control, again, today would be it. SPY proves to be the winner out of IWM and QQQs, although the Dow is the big winner as they put in a new all-time high today. We gapped lower. It lasted less than a time frame. We'll go over everything in a minute. Let's go to the other ones first because there are still a little concerns here. So the Russell gapped lower. It did not fill the gap today. Now look, here's the Russell's 6-day balance. We got below it, filled the gap from the 8th, but didn't spend any time inside of there. We spent only D and E there. And then for the most of the day, we battled in and out of the 6-day balance. Now remember, one day doesn't make a market. So right now it looks like we closed inside of it. But even if we close below it, I'm not going to say, okay, the Russell's dead because we closed below it. But here's the bigger point. They did take out last week's low. So that puts them into balance on the weekly. So the monthly's higher, the weekly's in balance, and the daily is in balance. Okay? But that is one little chip in the armor for the Russell. QQQs never threatened the bottom of their balance, really. Got a little close to it, but never got it. Do not fill their gap either. So they not only do they have a gap from today on the QQQs, they also have a double distribution trend day from yesterday at the all-time high, believe it or not. So there are some... Look, we have to give the buyers and bulls all the credit in the world, right? We're at all-time highs. We really haven't pulled back much. But I'm just looking for just anything for sellers to hang on to. So in the Russell, that's because we stopped the one-time framing in the weekly. And they have a gap. For the QQQs, they have a gap and a trend day from yesterday. Now, as far as we're concerned, monthly's healthy, weekly's healthy, and the daily did stop the one-time framing up for 3 days, but you can either use, again, you'll see this on the chart. Some people will use a 3-day balance because we just took out Friday's low and got back into it. Others will use it and encompass a whole 7-day balance. I'm using the 7-day balance. I gave the buyers the benefit of the doubt the last couple of days saying up. I am now going to say balance in 7 days. However, all we did, well, this is incredible. The entire afternoon, after we took out E's high, we one-time framed up the whole time, the whole afternoon. We had 2 inside bars, so that's still one-time framing up. We did get 9 wide, but we never alleviated any of these weak longs, which I was really looking for. I really thought there was a good chance in L or M, because we didn't alleviate all these longs from F, G, H, I, J, K, L, flush them out. Never happened. Never happened. Now, I had a good day. I had a good day overall. Nothing crazy. I actually lost money on 3 trades. I got caught on a couple when the market was really whipsawing. Got caught on a short in C, which if I held on for just a little longer would have been back in the money, but I gave it up. So I took a short. I traded today's expiration. I took a short in A period below the opening. To see how much we would get. In fact, I shorted 3 times today. We went back and forth through the opening a lot, A through E. I shorted 3 times in A period, 392 puts against the opening, against the gap. They all worked out. So they worked out nicely. Then in B period, we took out A's high, but barely. So I took another 393 put. Twice I did that, both times, as we came back down through the opening. I took a long in B, actually, against the opening. And when we got through it, I got rid of it, lost small on that. That was a small loss. Now C period. C took out B's low, came back. I was like, okay, let's see. We're back and forth through the opening. I took a put play. I took a 50 put play, actually, below the opening. Made money on 15 of them, and then it just popped real hard, real quick. Took 35 off, gave back a bunch of money that I made in A period. Meanwhile, 2 minutes later, we were right back where I shorted it. But again, I wasn't going to get caught up in the chop. And then So I still was green, but I'm telling you, those 35 puts, when they go against you real quick, 30, 40 cents, you give back a lot of money. D period. Went back to the short when we took out C's low. In fact, that turned out to be a very nice one. And took it off because it didn't look like they were going to take out A's low. So I took back a lot of what I lost in C on that trade. And then in E period, again, same thing. As we were one time framing down, any push up, I shorted it, came in, took it off a couple of times. And then I finally lost small on that when I was holding some and F took out E's high. I took the rest off. But I made money overall on the trade. Now, G period, I took a short against value high. Now, believe it or not, I made money on that. It came in before it started, when it went much higher. So I made money on that. And again in J, I faded the high and made money on that. So it was a decent day. I wasn't I wasn't confident on a lot of these trades because all these shorts that I made in G and J was against one-time framing, but they were at very, very good visual points. G short was against C's high. It came back in. J short was I didn't think we were going to hold single prints, and we didn't. So decent day overall, but not the easiest day. I can tell you that. Not the easiest day. All right, destinations for tomorrow. Upside, we have today's high, and if I wrote it down, it would help, 392.66. Today's high is my first upside destination. Then we have 392.85, 12 wide from yesterday. 393.29 afternoon rally high from yesterday. And then 394.17 daily high, all-time high, poor high. And then 395.35 pre-market all-time high from yesterday. So that's over a buck away, a $1.18 above the all-time high in regular trading hours. For the downside, L's high was the price probe, 392.40, my first destination, even though we closed below it. Then we have 391.27, J's low, 9 wide. Then we don't have anything to today's low of 389.33, and then 388.79 to pull back from February 11th, and 388.10 daily low. Now, let's go to the charts. So on the charts, here's the daily in SPY. First off the weekly. We didn't take out last week's low, right? 387.50. That's critical to me. We're still one-time framing up. Yes, we're inside last week's range, but we're still one-time framing up. Daily, again, you could use a 3-day balance, 7-day balance. I'm using a 7-day balance. If we take out the 7-day balance to the upside, well, guess what? You have new all-time highs. If we take out today's low, then last week's low becomes a bigger target, and then we have to worry about a possible outside week down if that was to happen. And then just quickly, since Russell did change, monthly, very healthy, but the weekly took out last week's low and filled the gap. Now, is that a big deal? Not yet. We closed at 324.06. For it to be a big deal, we need acceptance into last week's range of 321.84. Until you get acceptance into that, all we are is a 2-week balance I'm going to use. If you get any acceptance into it, which means we go lower the rest of the week, or next week we take out this week's low, well then 205, 206 becomes a target. But for now, you're in a 2-week balance. I hope you had a great day trading. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.